Hi, my name is Christian Baller and I am the creator of Astro Matcher API. In this video I'm going to show you how you can find your perfect match using astrology, which is actually the purpose of Astro Matcher API. I'm also going to tell you about the original impulse from which the idea to create Astro Matcher API originated from. It all started around 10 years ago. I was reading a book by Peter Müller in which he shared a story about one of his close friends. It goes like this. Peter had a friend who was an avid astrologer. I can't remember his name, but let's just call him Mike. Mike was living in Budapest, the capital city of Hungary. He wanted to find his perfect match for a romantic relationship with the help of astrology. So Mike found a way to calculate the date and time somebody needed to be born to perfectly match him. He then placed an ad in a local newspaper. It was something along the lines of, "I'm looking for a woman who was born on this day, at this time, near Budapest." Just this one sentence. Pretty strange and mysterious, in my opinion. But actually, a few days later, a woman contacted him through the newspaper responding, "I was born on that day and exactly at that time. Why?" Mike then set up a date with her and was very excited. Unfortunately, as the day of the meeting came closer and closer, Mike became anxious. He thought to himself, "What if I don't like that woman? What if she doesn't like me?" And guess what? Mike was so anxious that he didn't meet the woman and never contacted her again. Several years later, he revealed this story to Peter and told him that it was the biggest mistake of his life. He couldn't stop thinking about the missed opportunity of meeting his possible soulmate. I found this story pretty sad, but I also found the idea that you could calculate when somebody needed to be born to be your perfect match fascinating. Imagine being somewhere on planet Earth and you could find the person that matches you perfectly out of the several billion people around the world. Wouldn't that be great? Back then, I wasn't interested in astrology at all, so I didn't follow up on how this can be achieved. But the idea of developing a software that could do this calculation always kept entering my mind. In the last years, I became increasingly interested in astrology, and after having read dozens of books about astrology and synastry, I implemented the logic required to help you find your perfect match. Now, how can this be done? There are actually two methods which can be used. The first one is what we call date reverse engineering. Here you create a desired horoscope that you think would be the perfect match for you first. After that, you reverse engineer the date and time at which the positions of the planets in our solar system match those in the horoscope. Now the problem with this approach is that you might create a horoscope in which the planets are positioned in a way that hasn't occurred yet, meaning nobody was ever born with the horoscope that you previously created. The other approach is what we call horoscope bulk matching. Here you define a time span in which you calculate several horoscopes. You match each of them with yours and pick the one that is the best match for you. This is the method which I used in the application. Let's take a closer look at how this works. Let's say you were born on January the 1st in 1984. Let's also say that you are looking for someone who is your age or 10 years younger than you are. If you only create one horoscope per day, this means that between 1984 and 1994, there are approximately 3,650 horoscopes that you will have to compare with yours. And this is where Astro Matcher API comes into play. Now, if you haven't watched our previous videos and don't know Astro Matcher API yet, Astro Matcher API is a web service for calculating the compatibility of two people for a long-term romantic relationship. You simply have to pass two birthdays to it. The API is going to use astrological synastry to determine the harmony between the horoscopes and reduce all the information to a single number ranging from 0 to 100, which we call the match score. This enables you to determine which of the horoscopes is the best match for you. You simply pass all the birthdays between 1984 and 1994, one after another, to Astro Matcher API. After this is done, you pick the one for which the API calculated the highest match score. Let's say it's this one. Now this is the theory. Let's take a look at the real application and how it looks like in action. Here you have a command line window on a Windows 10 computer. I'm already in the directory of the application. As I started without any parameters, it's going to output some useful information about its usage. Here you can see an example call, and below it all the options of the application. We are going to use this example as it matches what you have just seen before, but we are going to modify some of the values. With the first parameter, you define your own birth date and time. Let's say you were born at noon on January the 1st, 1984. The second parameter specifies your birth location. This is the latitude and longitude of Budapest in Hungary. Next is the time from which we are going to search for a perfect match. This is followed by the end of that interval. Next is the search step, which specifies the hours between each new horoscope that is created and compared to your horoscope by the application. In the example before, it was 24, as we only created one horoscope per day. But let's now calculate one horoscope for every hour in the time span we are interested in. This makes more sense, since the position of the moon changes a lot during the day, and also you need the exact time to be able to calculate the ascendant of a person, which is very important for partner matching. The next parameter specifies the birth location where we are searching. Here we use the same latitude and longitude values, meaning we were born in Budapest and we are looking for someone who was also born in Budapest. The last parameter is called hits. It tells the app the number of best matches that it should calculate. If you are only interested in the best match overall, this can be set to 1. But I'm going to change it to a larger number to see the match score of every single horoscope in the result. And I'm also going to redirect the output of the app into a file called matches.csv. Now let's start the application and wait for the result. Here I opened the file created by the application in a spreadsheet editor. As you can see, the app compared 87,673 horoscopes with your own. The first column contains the date and time values whose horoscope was compared to yours, and the second column contains the calculated match score. The entries are sorted by the match score. You can see that the worst match score is 0 for somebody born at 8 o'clock on the 15th of August in 1990. It would be interesting to bring such two people together. They would probably not get along very well. But let's scroll to the top to see the best match, or perfect match for the defined search interval. And we have a winner. The best match turns out to be somebody born at 5 o'clock on the 17th of October in 1984. This date and time has a match score of 79 with your horoscope. But it's always a good idea to counter check, which I'm going to do now with the help of Astroseek.com. First, we are going to verify the match score of 0 for the lowest ranking horoscope combination. This is a screenshot taken from the Love Compatibility Calculator of Astroseek.com. As you can see, there are some loving and passionate aspects. But there are 3 aspects causing emotional pain and 9 aspects indicating conflicts. If you take a closer look to the synastry chart below, you can see the reason why this combination is so bad. Here you can see an ascendant to Sun square aspect. And you can see the same aspect on the other side as well. This is a very bad aspect for a relationship, and most likely the reason why this match scores 0 points. Now let's take a look at the best match we found using our application. As you can see, there are many loving, passionate and easy aspects between the 2 horoscopes. And actually, there are no aspects causing emotional pain, and also 0 aspects indicating conflicts. So this is indeed a very favorable match for a long-term romantic relationship. So in this video I showed you just another way Astro Matcher API can be used. If you want to find out more about the API, you can visit our website astromatcher.com. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.